the fourth International Conference on Computation, Automation, and Knowledge Management. With the support of IEEE, Springer, and the Case Center UK, we proudly convene this magnificent conference at our Amity University vibrant Dubai campus. It has snowballed from various regions of the world, beginning from London, then it went on to France, then United States of America. Thereafter, it went to Tashkent, and then Australia and Singapore last week, where our Group Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh, convened all these conferences in capacity of the conference chair. We have now come to the grand finale of this conference at our beloved Dubai campus. So I heartily extend a warm welcome to everyone who's present here. I would also request now you all to please rise for the national anthem. Thank you, everyone. Going further, it is now my proud privilege to call upon Dr. Saif Al-Sayari, the Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Dubai, to give his welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, depending your time zone. Welcome to Amity University, Dubai, and welcome to the International Conference on Computation, Automation, and Knowledge Management. I'm very delighted to see such a diverse and accomplished group here. It is what nowadays make a big difference to see these kind of conferences tour the world, bring all these brilliant minds together, and also make sure that such important knowledge is shared throughout all the experts from around the world. It is very important note to make that having all these published papers are coming out through these kind of conferences, and these kinds of very important events are shared, and that ensures the knowledge sharing throughout all these different countries that's going through Amity University. Would like to thank everyone who's here, the sponsors, Dr. Gurinder Singh, and our esteemed guests for being part of this important. And our main aim at Amity University Dubai is to build that gap and that bridge between the academia and the industry. We do consider that adds a lot of value to all our faculty, to staff, to students, to ourselves, to make sure that we are up to date when it comes to such an important initiatives. The most important part of these kind of conferences and events is how we try to get the most of it through learning from each other, from sharing all the values and all the knowledge that we have, especially in these important elements of today's discussion. I want to thank the organizing committee, sponsors, and all participants that contributed to such a good event. And as a closing, the last part of this wonderful that wondered the world. Thank you again for coming here, and hope you enjoy it and learn from it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that warm welcome. With this, I would also request our respected Group Vice Chancellor, the Cynosure of Amity, and the man behind all these initiatives of internationalization that have put Amity on a pedestal on a global map. It is my humble honor and privilege to invite my teacher, my mentor, and Group Vice Chancellor, Amity University, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh.
Thank you, Maruth. It's a pleasure to welcome academic leaders, industry leaders, researchers, large number of top case writers from across the globe who are online or who are personally in this very prestigious event which we are organizing in Dubai. Give a huge applause to all of them. On behalf of our Honorable Founder President and Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and on behalf of our Dubai campus, which is being led by a very visionary leader, Dr. Saif El-Siari, whom we specifically requested that he should come and should lead this campus, lead this university. We saw, and I was reading through his biodata, the kind of strong academic values he is bringing, experience of many countries. He has done his graduation initial years in Middle East, but then he went to Imperial College, from where he did his post-graduation. He went to France, he went to US, and now he's so ably leading so many initiatives. We feel so proud on you that you have been able to contribute and create a research culture at Dubai campus. Give a huge applause to him. Equally important, our good friends, Dr. Wajhat, who is the Chief Executive Officer and has been at the Dubai campus right from the very beginning, and Dr. Fazil, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor, and also very distinguished colleagues, deans, very senior people from Dubai campus who are here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome some of the strong pillars of the academic world who are here and who are sitting on the dais. They always say that there are two kinds of people in the world. One are known as balcony people, and balcony people will always pull you up. They will always say, do something better. And then there are basement people who will always crib. We are so privileged that today in this hall and on the stage, we have got balcony people, leaders of leaders who in their own countries, who in their own domains, they have not only contributed immensely, but have made their countries and their organizations proud. Give a huge applause to all of them, please. I would like to acknowledge all of them. Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, whom I know from, I think now, more than 2.5 decades. I was very young. I was telling I was not old today. But I know that Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, looking at QS and looking at all the things very, very minutely, and if today QS has been able to become the best, I would say, ranking and accreditation agency of the world, it is because of the unparalleled contribution of Dr. Ashwin, who now, at this young age, is leading it as an executive director, and our request, he specially came for this conference to Dubai. I know that most of the time you are in India or in Singapore. When I'm speaking from here, I also know that he has written a new book, and I was going through it, India's Knowledge Supremacy, The New Dawn. Give a huge applause to him. I think that it's decades of experience he is highlighting in that book. And similar initiative, Dr. Ashwin, we have taken at MIT, where we have brought the expertise of 20 vice chancellors from across the world, which includes the vice chancellor of University of Adelaide, Professor Peter Hudge, vice chancellor of Monash, vice chancellor of NYU, MIT's 4 vice chancellors from different universities. We will also request the vice chancellor of MIT University Dubai to contribute a chapter. But 20 vice chancellors, top brands of the world, including Professor Datar, Dean of the Harvard Business School. He's contributing a chapter, and the title of the book, which is being printed by Springer, is New Education Policy and Higher Education Models, Future of Education Through India and Asia. So I think that this is going to be a book which we're going to release in February. We'll call you again. But I just thought, but give a huge applause. I think number of initiative QS is taking. Also special mention to Dr. Vicky Lester, who's the CEO of the Case Center UK, who's online and is listening. Someone asked me that what is the history of this conference, because they keep on looking at LinkedIn and at various places that we are flying from one country to another. So let me give you history of MIT, those who are new, and how we started up with this conference. MIT is a brainchild of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, who's a very visionary leader, who's spending after 3 decades in Europe, came back to Asia with one vision, with one aim to create a chain of universities, chain of educational institutions, which can transform, which can bring the revolution in the education world. I still remember at that time in India, there was no private university. There was no school which was able to offer the kind of foreign education, international education we should be concentrating at. And it was the vision of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, at that time, that we should be able to create world-class schools and world-class institutions and universities. With that vision, we started working, and 2 bright young professionals, Dr. Atul Chauhan, who himself is a product of London School of Economics, and another one, Dr. Asim Chauhan, who is a product of Wharton School. And few of us, we came together and we started working on creating a brand called MIT. And today, when I stand in front of you, MIT is one of the largest education groups of the world. Of course, the largest in India, and the only one in India which has got 12 universities. Those who are from the different parts of the world, you know that how difficult or easy it is to create a university, to pass a special legislation in both the houses of the parliament or the state assembly. But we became the first one to create not only 1, but 12 universities. And we feel privileged that we have been able to do that and create some models which many other people are following up. We created programs, and the first one to create programs which can start in the home country, and the second part of the program can be in London, and the third part of the program can be in US. These are known in 3 continent programs. And these were the programs when there was the rules were very, very strict. But we always wanted that the students should move from one country to another. We created the strongest study abroad program of the entire world, so that students should be able to freely move from one country to another country. We were able to create a very strong program called Internship Abroad Program, which should be able to help students to practically understand that how industry works. We created another program called Apprenticeship Abroad Program, where students can go and can work in the companies. And all this was done with the objective that we should be able to cultivate the culture of multidisciplinary research. So at MIT, if you will touch any subject, whether it's law, it's business, it's biotechnology, engineering, or any other domain, you will find that the students are given freedom, that they can shift from one subject to another. Another thing which we brought to the India was that try to go beyond the syllabus. So 70% of our syllabus was taught by some of the professors who was teaching somewhere else, by the industry or by the people who are in the various other universities. We created a consortium of more than 480 international universities, all Ivy Leagues, all Russell Group of universities. And I'm just coming from Australia, where I traveled all the Group 8 universities. They became the part of this consortium. So today, when I stand before you, and today, when Mr. Fernandez has given ranking, QS ranking to MIT as the university which has got the highest ranking in internationalization, with highest number of outbound and inbound number of students. That is the latest ranking which MIT has got, beating almost all the other universities. We are thankful to the people who are sitting at the stage. We are thankful to the Middle East especially, which has brought the culture of, I would say, bringing various cultures. In this campus where you are sitting, we can see more than 43 countries and the students participating. And it is always a pleasure if you talk to them. They bring so much experience. So in a classroom, experience counts. In a classroom, experience of the various professors count. In a classroom, how you are able to integrate research into practical things count. So give a huge applause to the Middle East and to the Dubai campus especially, and to all those who have contributed. We are so thankful to each one of you. But that is a small story about MIT. So Vicky Lester had a role to play because years back, our chancellor thought that India is a great country. And MIT universities are doing many good things, but our focus has to be on research. So we went from one university to another. I remember going to Harvard and speaking to the dean, who's now a very close friend and works closely with us on various case studies. But I said that we want to write case studies with you. And he said, no, we don't do our branding with anyone. So we went to the case center, and Professor Vicky was the one who said that let's collaborate and create the largest reservoir of the case studies in the world. Today, when I stand here, this year we have been able to create 785 largest number of case studies which any university in the world has produced. And quite a lot of the credit goes to the Case Center UK, which did number of workshops. And about this conference, which we are organizing, and the finale is in Dubai. I remember that 4 years back, we kept this mission that we will be doing, and we will be trying to not only create the highest number of citations or H-index and case studies in the world, but we will try that we should be able to contribute to the world and to the economies most meaningfully. But this year, we started up our journey from India, where we organized in Bush. Most of you know about this conference. We have organized this conference from 25 years, one year after the year, where all top universities, academic leaders, they participate. Then we took this conference to London. And we have got a university in London, and I think the only education group from Asia which has got a university status in London, where we collaborated with the University of Birmingham and Queen Mary University of London. And along with the IEEE and Case Center UK, we organized one of the largest conferences, research conferences in the heart of UK, where more than 1,000 people attended, research papers were presented, and it not only helped the researchers to increase their H-index, to increase the collaborative research work, but it also helped them to understand that how different universities across the globe they work. Then we took this conference to New York, where we collaborated with NYU. And along with NYU and IEEE, we organized another conference. Then we brought it back to Paris, and where University of Grenoble, which are our partners, and INSEAD contributed towards the case center, towards the creating of the cases, and also welcoming large number of researchers. Then we took it to our other university this year. We took it to Uzbekistan, This is another amazing story of Dr. Chauhan. When Uzbekistan was growing, and when Uzbekistan wanted that they should open the first IT university, their prime minister and president, they visited us in India. And we showed them that what MIT is all about. And they said that, why don't you come to Tashkent and see that how can you contribute it? So all of us, we went there, and they provided us the infrastructure, and we created the world-class university in Tashkent, which is the first IT university of that country. And as our commitment to that country that we are going to create a research infrastructure, we organized this research conference there along with Hackathon, and we took the Case Center UK, IEEE, and Hackathon, leading players of the world, including Google, Oracle, to Tashkent. Result was that 100% placements of the students, many of them who started incubating their own companies. So from Tashkent, where we certainly loved the students the way they were coming forward, we brought this conference to Australia, where Monash, which is a Group 8 university, became our partner. And before coming here, I was in Australia, and we organized another conference in Monash, where the Springer, which is one of the top publishers, like they are sponsoring this conference, they became our partner. And then we went to Singapore, where we work very closely with NTU and NUS as our partners, but equally IEEE and Springer, they supported along with the Case Center. Middle East and Dubai is closest to our heart, so we thought that we will celebrate the festival of lights, the festivities of December, the festivities of weather at our Dubai campus. So we brought the best thing to Dubai, and we are so privileged that we are finally ending our all research conferences, which has not only increased the H index of MIT, it has helped various researchers across the globe to contribute most significantly in their profiles and in the profiles of their universities. But also we feel so satisfied and happy that wherever we are going, we are trying to create cases which are focused on their countries. And we specifically want to thank the industry leaders and academic leaders who have been able to help us. Give a huge applause to all of them. I can see Mr. Mohammad Samir, who is the board of director and member of the PNG and the former president. Give a huge applause to him. Online, I can see Mr. Richard Rekhi, who is the board member of KPMG and former chief executive officer. Very warm welcome to you, Mr. Rekhi. Ms. Hisa, who is a TED speaker and the HR expert and co-founder of After Rain, Flowers and Coffee. A huge applause to her. Ms. Leela Parwani, who's the managing director and one of the authorities in finance and insurance business and managing director of LPH Financial Services. I give a huge applause to her. Professor Evangelos, who is the executive director of Heriot-Watt University, Dubai. And Mr. Vikram Krishna, co-founder of the Sacred Groves CIC, and who works a lot on the climate change. I think that all of them not only supported this conference, but my special mention is for the researchers from across the world who are flying from the various parts of the world. I met in the morning some of the leading researchers from the CES countries. I met few of them from the Kazakhstan. I met few of them from Uzbekistan. I saw few from UK. I met few from US. I have been told that more than 450 research papers came on IEEE, and more than 130 came for the Springer conference. The criteria was very strict, so don't be disappointed, but we selected only 150 research papers to be presented. and only 77 case studies to be presented, which we are now coming up with in a form of a book, which is being done by Springer, and which will be Scopus indexed. But also at the same time, I have been given to understand that large number of industry persons have contributed in writing the cases. So my special mention I would like to say is the team from India, which was working day and night, International Affairs Division, and Dr. Kavita, who has been working from the Dubai campus to working on the development of the case studies. Give a huge applause to all of that. With these words, once again, we welcome each one of you in this very vibrant and amazing conference. 2023 was a great year for MIT. It was a good year for the word. It was a good year for research. But we look forward that 2024 should be the better year. For MIT, we have kept ourselves that though we have been contributing in the field of research, innovation, internationalization, we want that MIT should be amongst the top 100 universities of the world. And when I'm speaking, I know that what I'm talking. It's a difficult task which we have kept, but we know that with the support of all of you, we are going to fulfill this vision. With that passion, with that confidence, once again, on behalf of our founder, on behalf of our chancellors, on behalf of our 16 vice chancellors, 25 director generals, and on my own behalf, as a group vice chancellor, and 250,000 passionate members of MIT family, we welcome and we thank each one of you. Thank you so very much.
With this, we invite our keynote addressee for today, Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, Executive Director, AMESA, QS. We'll hand it over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon. First and foremost, my appreciation to the founder president, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, the vice chancellor of the Dubai campus, Dr. Saif Al-Siari, and the group vice chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh, all distinguished guests who are here, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, really very excited to be here. One of the points which Dr. Gurinder didn't mention is my close association with MIT. As an alumnus, which I'm not sure whether all of you know, I've done my my PhD at the thank you, at the Amity University Noida campus under the supervision of Dr. Balvinder Shukla. And of course, this was a very remarkable achievement for me personally, because I've been with QS for a while now, and while we work to evaluate universities and say which universities are better than another, it doesn't harm to have a PhD yourself. So that was always my desire. And when I met Dr. Atul Chauhan quite a few times, he really motivated me to do something and said, why don't you take the first step? And that's when I joined Amity's program. And very recently, about 3 years ago, I passed out. Of course, COVID helped provide a lot of time to write the thesis and complete that. So definitely more association and even more special as an Amitian to be here in your Dubai campus. This is my second visit here, of course, we did a conference with Amity before, so it's great to be here. So what I would like to do is, over the next couple of minutes, share with you a little bit, not about rankings, but about how the region has been transforming. And of course, the close association of the region with what you're doing with the conference on innovation and the related themes, I thought it'd be good for me to share my perspective on what is happening in the region. So the region definitely has been transforming, and we can see that through the various projects happening throughout the region. So first, let us appreciate the remarkable transformation, particularly in the GCC countries. Now, we can look at various metrics, and we can look at first the IMF data. The IMF data in 2022 has said that the region has been the fastest growing economies globally across the GCC countries, with a growth of 7.5%. Now, if I would give perspective of that across other regions of the world, in the same time, the European Union region saw a growth of 2.7%. Asia seen a growth of 3.9%, and Africa seen a 3.3%. Now, this growth, though remarkable, is just the prologue of a promising story of what's happening in the region and how education is part of this transformative journey. Now, the education sector, which is deeply connected with what's happening, and of course, we can see the various visions. Either it is the UAE Higher Education Vision 2030, the Saudi vision, which is Saudi Vision 2030, or the various other visions in Oman or in Qatar. All of them have one clear determination about what's going to happen, is to create a strong knowledge economy. So when the last barrel of oil leaves, the region will not be sad, but will triumph, because knowledge will take over as the resource. So, of course, all of this is stimulated by the favorable demographics and an ever-increasing spending on quality education. The region's per capita income, combined with, of course, in most of the regions, it's a low tax environment, has propelled a growth towards investment in quality education. Now, quality, of course, is the minimum standards. And what is happening in regions like in Dubai or in across the UAE with the ministry getting involved. I know KHDA is doing some kind of work. The CAA is doing some kind of work. All of this is pushing quality into the next phase of excellence. And today, the Middle East, which features basically an indigenous blend of knowledge and, of course, international curriculums, we are seeing universities like Amity come into the region and make a mark as well. And of course, different countries, we are sitting in the heart of the Dubai International Academic City, where there are a lot of universities. The quality and excellence is regulated by various standards. And I'm proud that QS has worked with KHDA in Dubai, particularly to create the standards of evaluating all the universities which are in this region. So definitely the universities are doing their best. We've seen them coming out with various initiatives, and I'm so proud that Amity is part of this work here today, which is supporting the economy. And of course, besides cases, the research is also contributing to what the economy is doing. So the blend is not just keeping pace with the expanding societal demands, but is also preparing our future generations for various career opportunities. One of the facts I've recently uncovered is the initiatives in the last year. The UAE Ministry of Education recently developed the Disrupt Ed program, which is internally within the ministry to be able to create that ecosystem for innovation. Also, the current year we are in was named as a UAE Innovates 2023 year, which is further going to push innovation in various areas, including education. Now, with that, we will see the exponential increase of education and higher education across the region. Now, statistics show, and just to give you a perspective of how this is going to grow over the next few years, the GCC education sector will increase by 1.1 million to reach a staggering of 14.2 million students by 2027. testifying to the region's growing thirst for knowledge. And of course, at the heart of it is the adoption of technology and the drive for innovation. And that's with all the digitally aided platforms, which has further supported the surge and the revolutionizing of the dynamics of the education ecosystem. Moving from the UAE, let's look at Saudi Arabia. The market of Saudi Arabia is anticipated to become the largest market for education in the region, with a growth or a total enrollments of 68.4% in 2027. And of course, followed by countries like Kuwait and the UAE. So Saudi Arabia's education story goes beyond this. Currently, in Jeddah and Makkah, there are 120 new schools being built, which is part of an ambitious privatization goal by the government. And that further signifies the determination of the various governments of Saudi Arabia and, of course, the region to build an education edifice across the various cities across the region. On the similar lines, the UAE also boasts of a similar, stronger innovation ecosystem. The Global Innovation Index 2022, where QS ranking is part of the metrics as well, measuring the innovation ecosystems across the world, ranks UAE as 25th globally for outperforming all the other GCC countries. Now, that is remarkable, and that creates an even greater ecosystem for growth and the support of education and higher education to the economy. Now, Saudi Arabia, followed by Qatar and various other regions, are actually pushing forward all the development. And in conclusion, across the GCC, there will be an unprecedented leap in investment opportunities in the coming years. Now, while all this is happening, there are various other points, but I would want this message to be very crisp. So I'm going to leave you with 10 things to look out for over the next 5 years. And these 10 things are the big things expected in the region. The first, of course, you can see, and we've always talked about, is AI and automation, where higher education and economy will play a major role with strategies. And in the UAE, we know that UAE has a UAE strategy for artificial intelligence just released this year, where we can expect substantial advancements in AI and automation across the various sectors. Very close by from here, if you probably Googled or seen the news, we have an AI street where AI is used to manage the traffic light systems across that street, very close in Dubai Silicon Oasis. The second, blockchain and fintech. We've already seen UAE hosting various conferences and various expos on Bitcoin. So the region will see a significant increase in these technologies, along with education and higher education playing a vital role. The e-commerce boom and digital literacy will continue to rise and will set forth the future in the region. The fourth, food security. There will be pioneering strategies for achieving food security, such as vertical farming and aquaculture, which will gain even more attention and investment. Fifth, water conservation. We already know the region is doing great with water conservation, but given the scarcity of fresh water, I expect, and from the research, it shows that there will be even more emphasis on water conservation and sustainable desalination practices from the current practices being used for desalination. Sixth, women empowerment. Efforts are being made to encourage women participation in the workforce, and there are going to be various new roles being opened across different sectors. Just yesterday, I was at the Mohammed bin Zayed University of Humanities, where a staggering 80% of the students are women. Now, those are going to go into the government roles across various government departments and are going to propel not just the country, but the region for the future. The seventh, public transport expansion. Now, of course, we don't have a metro station right next door here, but expect that there's going to be a huge transformation in the public transportation efforts in the region with the expansion of metros, trams, and bus systems. We can see already that happening in New Dubai, which is across the Palm and across the region, where there are 2 tram systems, a metro and a public transport, and everything integrated into that. The eighth, space exploration. The Mars mission, which you've already heard about, will pave a way for more ambitious space exploration projects. And I know that you all have, Amity University has a great aviation lab here, which I think would give further emphasis for you if you work on that to be part of the future of space exploration. Ninth, youth engagement. We expect even more programs created to harness the youth potential for this region and targeting the large young population, driving innovation and entrepreneurship, not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 10 to 20 years. And 10, but the most important, is preservation of the culture renaissance, where we anticipate a cultural change with more museums, more art galleries, more theaters, more cultural events to spotlight the region's rich heritage and the artistic expressions of the people of the region. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this journey I've taken you through has been helpful. And there are, of course, many possibilities where the region could transform itself with higher education at the core of it. And the transformation has, I think, just begun. And I'm proud that Amity University is part of this. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I hope I have done justice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ashwin, for this very holistic and erudite keynote. I think it sets the tone for today's discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also been joined by our Honorable Chancellor and President of the Foundation, Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir. Going further, it is now my proud honor to invite and call upon for his thoughts. Over to you, sir, for your few thoughts.
Thank you, Marut. It's a true pleasure for me to be with all of you virtually at the inaugural of this great conference, the 4th conference on computation, automation, and knowledge management, which our great Group Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh, who is in person in Dubai at the moment, has taken across the world. I would say there are very, very few conferences that take place in so many countries on a topic, engage with such senior leadership from across the world, and where true outcome can come. And Dr. Singh, you rightly said in your welcome, under the vision of our founder, Dr. Ashok Chauhan ji, this great dream was to establish a group of universities and institutions and schools all around the world with one singular philosophy, and that is how to improve society and how to make this world a greater world for all of us to live in. To everyone who is here at our Dubai campus for the first time, a very warm welcome. You will have seen that we as a foundation have tried to create a beautiful campus for the students from all over the world who come to Dubai and the region. I understand at the moment we have over 50 nationalities of students who are studying here on campus. Dr. Singh, I was very happy to hear when you said that there are scientists and researchers from many parts of the world who have congregated in Dubai to discuss on this very, very important topic. And I know how rigorous we are in the selection of papers. And of course, we have done many conferences together with IEEE, and the percentage of papers that are finally selected for presentation is very, very small. So I would like to congratulate every researcher who has got selected to speak and get their papers published in various IEEE publications. In the life of a academic and scientist, publishing is such an important aspect, and conferences like this go a long way. Dr. Saif Al-Saeri, we are so proud to have you as the academic head of our campus in Dubai. Dr. Singh, you gave the background of Dr. Saif, but he is a true leader in the UAE and a true academic. And when we set up this campus, this was a commitment that we gave to the leadership of Dubai and the UAE, that we would create a world-class campus with a deep focus on research, on innovation, and conferences like this. And many conferences happen in Dubai, but especially this conference will go a long way in the commitment that we have made to the leadership here in Dubai to fulfill that mission. This topic, which covers very broad aspects, but also covers artificial intelligence and machine learning, especially in this day and age, is so important. And I'm very happy to inform everyone here in the gathering that just about 2 months ago at our first university campus in Noida, we have created one of the most high-powered supercomputing artificial intelligence centers. At the moment, we have a computing power of 10 petaflops, which makes it one of the fastest supercomputers in any university in India. And we are slowly going to expand this to make it the highest supercomputing power amongst the region. And Dr. Saif, you will be very happy to know that very soon we will be connecting all our universities across the world to this network. So all our scientists in Dubai will also be able to benefit from this amazing supercomputing facility that we are creating. So Dr. Singh, congratulations for choosing this topic today. I'm seeing a lot of very senior people from the industry, from the academic world, sitting here in the hall. I welcome each one of you. I was so happy to hear and so proud to hear Dr. Ashwin, and I would say grateful to you that as a doctoral graduate of Amity, that you keep it close to your heart. You rightly said, I have seen you travel all over the world to build QS, to assist universities. And one thing which I really appreciate about your organization is that you are enabling universities across the world to improve, to be able to benchmark, and uplift the system of education, innovation, and research globally. And we are so proud to have you as part of the Amity family. And you are a very apt keynote speaker today. We welcome you. Just a few days back, Dr. Ashwin, you will be happy to know that we had a convocation very similar to where the degree would have been awarded to you, where we had 17,000 students get their degrees at Noida campus. And we had over 380 PhD scholars receive their doctoral degrees. At Amity, it is very, very tough to get your PhD degree. And many of the scholars, when they were coming up, I was asking them, how long did it take you to earn your degree? And majority of them were saying more than 5 years, and extremely hard work. So Dr. Ashwin, we're so proud that you are a doctoral student of Amity. I had just seen Miss Vicky Lester online. I don't know if she is still there. The CEO of the K Center in UK, Dr. Singh, you also just welcomed her. We were very proud to have Dr. Vicky in India yesterday visit one of our campuses where the case center headquarters for Amity is based. And last evening, I got a list of, and Dr. Vicky gave us an award. And I would like to share this very, very good news with everyone who is here today. And there are very few things which can surprise or take me by surprise, but I would say pleasantly, happily surprised when I saw this list of the top 10 awardees that the Case Center in UK has given. The number one place, so this was the Case Center Impact Index by the Case Center in the UK. Number one was Harvard Business School. Number two was IBS. Number three was INSEAD in Paris. Number four was IMD in Switzerland. Number five was Ivy Business School in Canada. Number six was Amity, where you are sitting today, and of course the Global Network. And number seven was Stanford Business School. And then the list continued. So this reflects the great vision our founder had, where when he set up the Amity Foundation, was that how can we make an impact to society? For that, research is such an important part of it. So whether it is the case studies that our business schools across the world write, whether it is scientific papers that scientists write from all over the world, outcomes like this make us very happy. So with this, I will just once again welcome everyone to our Dubai campus. I wish you all the best for the presentations. Dr. Singh, congratulations to you for organizing these great events across the world. I could just see Dr. Fazal walking, a great pro-vice chancellor of ours, again, a very great academic. I understand you were just presenting at the COP event, great, amazing COP event, which is happening in Dubai. And we are proud that you represented Amity at this event. So with this, once again, all the very best to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Honorable Chancellor, AUUP, and President RBEF, our vivacious and very dynamic Chancellor. Thank you, sir, for your overwhelming thoughts and for the great welcome to all the distinguished guests here. I've been given to understand that Dr. Ashwin has paucity of time and he has some commitment because of which we have to leave. I would request the respected Group Vice Chancellor, sir, and Vice Chancellor, Amity Dubai, to please felicitate Dr. Ashwin.
And Marut, before that, we'll also like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Amol Chauhan, who is a trustee and is also a product of Harvard Business School and is contributing quite a lot in the growth of MIT universities worldwide. And also Professor Bhavna, who has just joined and has been contributing quite a lot in development of case studies at Dubai campus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would request to please felicitate Dr. Ashwin. May I also request student volunteer to please step forward. Amity University is proud to present the Amity Global Higher Education Leadership Excellence Award to Dr. Ashwin. Definitely. And I would invite Dr. Ashwin to present his book as well.
This is the most precious book which we have written, and India's knowledge community has gone through this book. But I would request all of you to read it because it will give you a new model and new paradigm which the world will see in the time.
Please give a thunderous applause to Dr. Ashwin Fernandez. With this, we come to our other addresses, and it is my proud privilege to invite Dr. Richard Reiki for his address. Over to you, sir. He's joining us. So distance has never been a challenge for Amity because we're having so many campuses, we have people follow all over the world. Over to you, sir. I think you're on mute, sir. We would request you to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely, clear.
Okay, good evening, everybody. And I would like to acknowledge Dr. Ashok Chauhan, who's the founder, president of Amity, the chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, group vice chancellor, Dr. Gurinder Singh, and of course, you, Marut Bisht, for organizing all this and having me here today. And thank you very much for inviting me. The topic which I'm going to talk about is basically leadership in the age of automation. And so, you know, the world as we are seeing unfolding in front of us, technology changes is reshaping the very essence of humanity and touching every aspect of our planet. Unfortunately, tech doesn't understand right or wrong. This is the big challenge we have with technology. It doesn't know right or wrong, and there are declining ethical values. Can we go to the first slide, please? Yeah. And we got declining ethical values, respect and fairness is losing its relevance, trust in leadership is an all-time low, business models are changing. As we know today, it is not about the big companies, it's about the person in the garage, what is he building, and new business models are emerging. Highly competitive workplace. We need to be deeply specialized in the area we want to pursue. It is no more about spreading ourselves broad, it's about spreading ourselves deep. Climate change, we are seeing the beginning of an unstoppable and irreversible process. Climate change is actually destroying the world. The planet will exist, maybe humans will not exist. And we are going to witness more changes in the next 10 years than what we saw in the last 100 years. Can we go to the next slide, please? We are living in an era of change, and then science and technology enable these mega shifts. There are these 6 mega shifts which are taking place in the world. One is artificial intelligence. I was hearing earlier also talk on artificial quantum computing, machines that can supercompute, nuclear fusion, synthetic energy, genome editing. I mean, all the young people sitting in the audience, you've got to live. You can live for many more years. Companies are constantly innovating themselves to keep pace with this change. What artificial intelligence can actually do, it can be the fastest and greatest wealth creator in this for this generation, and it can help cure diseases. It can enable smart cities. It can help tackle the environmental challenges. Self-driving cars will be a reality, hopefully. Fossil fuel will be replaced by renewable energy in the next few years, and food, which needs to be sustainable, healthy, and affordable, where lab-based meat and plant-based food will be the order of the day. So human intelligence and artificial intelligence are converging. We need to ensure there's a balance. For this, we need to decide which tech we want and what is in the larger interest of humanity. We are going to operate in a world that requires speed, scale, agility, and ability. Next slide, please. Leadership today is challenged with unprecedented challenges. First, there is declining trust, the changing business models, people-related issues. We know that everybody deals only with people, whether it's customers, whether it's suppliers, whether it's society, whether you're all the time dealing with people. And people-related issues are a big challenge. Leaders need to manage continuity and change because change is so swift today, never been seen before. Operational challenges which are there. I remember in 2008, 2009, when the financial crisis took place, one big word was coined, cash is king. And now the same thing has come back again. that cash management has become most important in today's time. Increasing stakeholder expectations and changing regulatory landscapes. The regulations are changing constantly, and broken supply chains. In fact, there's another word which has been coined, which is anti-fragility. And the world has to learn to become anti-fragile and not, succumb to the pressure. Yes, can we go to the next slide, please? So what are the tenets of leadership will not change? Rather, a few more dimensions have been added to this leadership. Leadership will be based on compassion and kindness, purpose-driven. There has to be a sharp and clear vision. There has to be a collaborative and conscious-driven leadership. Leaders need to become good listeners. And this concept of servant leadership has now become so synonymous with the new kind of leadership, because it's no more about that dominant individual who will just put his thing everywhere. So it is about how do you work with the team, how do you work collaboratively in the current time. Leaders need to be courageous. They need to be risk takers. They need to be focused on their aim, what they want to do for the company. Resilient. Agility is a very big word which has come out. And of course, a leader needs to have a good heart and a good head. This makes a formidable combination. Can we go to the next slide? So what is required in the age of AI? Like I said, machines don't understand what is right or wrong. And so a deep ethics model where machines work on logic and data, it is humans who possess this ethics and understanding. And it's time we put a big overlay of ethics. In fact, while we are teaching technology in our colleges and all that, how do we bring the ethics part into it in a much deeper way than what we have been doing? Unless we're already doing it, I may not be aware of it, what you all are doing at your colleges or universities. A focus on creating new business value, where it is about content, context, purpose, and goals. It is how do you prepare for this new world in which we live, build transparency in every aspect of the business. Important to combine the analytical power of AI with human intuition and empathy. Important to consider emotional and social intelligence. Very, very important, because like I said, machines only understand data, and that's all they understand. They don't know right from wrong, and I think it's important that we get that. What is happening today, billions of dollars are being spent on AI research, with little or no money going on alignment, because this AI can go wrong, as we know. There are a lot of different types of informations coming out. So we need to be in control of this AI. We need to be the architects and not just the execution. So we need to put some precaution into the kind of work we do. Otherwise, we will be at the wit's end of this technology in which we live. Can we go to the next slide, please? There will be some tough questions which you have to answer. Having today's organizations, we have been hearing about this, of having a greater purpose, of having a higher purpose. And it's important for organizations just to go beyond the financial results. Higher purpose is when you can find the why of your life, as to why you do something, why you are into something. Most people know what they do. Very few people know as to why they do it. And I think it's important that each individual needs to find it. Organizations need to find it. If that organization does not exist tomorrow, will the world miss anything? I think those are the questions one need to answer. So organizations need to become an effective force for good. They need to earn profits, but with purpose. That means it's got to be sustainable. And there are many companies now which are actually emblems of this kind of thing, and they are doing a great job. I would give example of Unilever, then creating value for the customer and moving beyond profits to create wealth, drive long-term value creation, look at positively impacting the society and environment, and also higher quality of products and services. And of course, the march to net zero. It's not easy. It's a difficult kind of journey, but we have to move towards that and build an organization that far outlasts the people. Today, it is not about being legally right. It's about being ethically right. And to give you one small example of this, Starbucks was in UK. It was not paying it didn't pay any taxes. It was not required to pay any taxes as per the legal agreements that were there. So in the newspapers one day it came out that Starbucks has got so many stores in UK and does not pay any taxes in the UK. People stopped going to the store. Starbucks finally ended up paying 20 million pounds as taxes, and people went back to the store. So today people are asking what is morally right. It's just not about being legally right. It's about being morally right. And I think we need to move to that kind of situation. Okay, can we go to the... In all, what will this mean for the next new leaders? I mean, you look at all these qualities are required: humility, courage, authenticity, stewardship. Stewardship is when you hold something in trust to give it to the next generation in a better shape than you got it. Compassion. Compassion is empathy in action. Agility, empathy itself, and trust. But you may have all these qualities which are around you, but if you don't have integrity, it doesn't mean a thing. You can be humble, you can be courageous, authentic, whatever. But if you don't have integrity, you have nothing. And I think that it's the most important quality that any leader, and they need to live it. It's just not about talking about it, but you live it through your own actions. Yeah, next slide, please. So what are the questions that we need to ask? What will it mean to be human in a world that is hyper-connected? And that I don't have an answer for this, but that will increasingly be run by algorithms and machines. So what will it take for humans to exist in this world? What will real happiness actually mean in this new world? We're all on our machines. We're all on, using ChatGPT, getting, if you go to the professional ChatGPT, the kind of things you can do, that's amazing. How will we ensure that all these amazing technologies and gains will result in human flourishing? It's very, very important. If you look at Society 5.0, what it talks about is an inclusive growth where everybody in the society grows. It's just not about one section of society growing. So that is going to be a huge challenge of how this technology is going to help the weaker sections of society. How will we avoid selling out our humanity in return for economic growth, for the conveniences of a connected lifestyle? We want to be connected. We know this connected lifestyle also has a lot of downsides to it, and we need to see that we don't fall prey to it. How do we use a new technology to ensure inclusive growth where all parts of the society are benefited? And there is obviously a need to draw a line between efficiency and freedom, security and privacy, and super intelligence and happiness. So I think we need to see how we're going to use this technology for the betterment of humankind, and just not about the kind of things that we can do with the technology. Can we go to the next slide, please? So the future, be less like machines. You so unlearn the habit of acting like machines and relearn of how to act like humans. If you go around society, see everybody's with their phones, they're not talking to each other. So, I mean, where is it? So can we go back to when we were younger as to what we used to do, and how we used to be curious, how we used to dream, how we used to imagine, how we can get back to the youth? Like they say, that never let the child in you die. It's very, very important to keep that alive. And that is the only thing that is going to keep the humans on top of the machines. So machines, like I have said earlier, works on logic and data. It is humans who possess ethics and understanding, focus on nurturing creativity and attaining wisdom. So what makes humans unique is emotion, heart, and passion. Your human values are irreplaceable. This is where the human's only turf will be found, and there'll be enough jobs for everyone out here. So this part the machines can never take, and there'll be enough jobs for the humans. Now I come to my last slide now. So I just thought I will leave a few thoughts, because the students who may be listening in, I just want to leave a few thoughts with you. Your destiny is in your hands. You need to be in the driver's seat. You need to write your own story. Don't sell anything that you will not buy. Let excellence be your brand. Always put that 10% extra. Life is a circle. What goes up ultimately comes down. Respect people on their way up. That's the way you'll be treated in a similar way on your way down. So when you respect people on your way up, that's how they will treat you. Everybody, everything that goes up has to come down. Very important to balance the 5 pillars of life: friends, family, health, spirit, and work. Just to share with you, work is a rubber ball. The other 4 are glass balls. If they fall, they break and there's a crack. The job ball, the work ball can keep bouncing. It's a rubber ball, so it keeps bouncing. So we should learn this early in life. How do we balance our life and just not get into and be a good ancestor and plant trees that you will never see? Yeah, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Richard Reiki, board member and former chief executive officer of KPMG. Thank you, sir, for some wise tenets about a happy life. Before I invite Mr. Amir, board member of PNG, we have a small video from Dr. Vicky Lester. It's a message that we wish to play for all of you.
She's presently in India. Very much wanted to be part of the Dubai conference, but she is sending this message.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hello, honoured guests, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Vicky Lester, CEO at the Case Centre, and send my greetings to each and every one of you. Thank you very much for my invite to send a message as part of your conference. I'm so sorry to not be with you in person, but very much aim to meet all of you in person at a future event. Our passion and my work passion is the case method, and I'd like to share just a few words with you on how I believe the case method is even more relevant and vital than ever before. Firstly, for those that are less familiar with our work at the Case Centre, we are the independent home of the case method, dedicated to promoting and advancing the case method worldwide. We are a not-for-profit organisation and registered charity located in the UK and have global reach with our work in supporting the case method community. Our activities include from distribution of the most diverse collection of case study teaching materials written from schools around the globe, to training and professional development, equipping faculty with the vital skills to both teach with and write case studies. As the independent home of the case method, we're uniquely positioned to being able to recognise and reward excellence in case writing and case teaching. We do this through our recognition portfolio, which includes our annual awards and case competitions, and a new impact index being launched this month as part of our 50th anniversary. All these activities of recognition assist schools evidence the impact they have when using the case method as part of their pedagogy. We are thrilled to work with Amity to raise awareness of the case method worldwide through various activities, and we're looking forward to meeting more faculty during our collaborations online and in person. A series of conferences which Amity University are organising have an addition of a case teaching track, which will be leading to creating case studies on some best known brands and their stories of success and struggle, all bringing the real life business situations into the classroom for students. The case method has recently celebrated its centennial and was adopted in business education by Harvard Business School in the 1920s from Harvard Law School's approach. Its essence is a focus on problem solving and decision making, active student engagement, experiential learning, integration of theory and practice. And this remains true 100 years on, and even more relevant and vital than ever before. The case method has the ability to engage students in a variety of teaching environments, and this naturally lends itself to increasing the interactivity of online sessions. The case method is one of the most versatile and flexible pedagogies for any teaching or learning environment, and this was certainly highlighted through the pandemic as it opened many more opportunities for schools to extend their reach and impact in their education of students globally. And that's where the case method really raises its profile of being able to address and adapt to many challenges being faced and the changing trends. It brings flexibility of being able to adapt to any learning environment. It brings experiential learning. It brings the real world into the classroom. It engages students. It brings variety. It develops faculty. It raises the profile of the school with the impact teaching by the case method has on the students' employability. And it also bridges the gap with industry and institutions. Through all our activities and work with schools around the world, it's evident that the case method is more relevant and vital than ever before. Students expect participant-centered learning that brings the real world into the classroom and equips them with essential employability skills such as critical thinking, decision-making, adaptability, flexibility, collaboration, ethical decision-making, problem-solving, testing theories, and learning how to deal with ambiguity and complex situations. And these skills are what industry are asking for in their future workforce. Amity University strongly recognises the importance of global leadership, and their conferences are one of the many activities highlighting and acknowledging this. Students studying at Amity and schools around the globe that are learning by the case method and the work we do at the Case Centre are all playing a part in educating our future global leaders, ensuring they have educational materials that are relevant, engaging, and tell stories about topical subjects and challenges businesses are facing today, really delivering learning that's experiential and that brings the real world into the classroom for them. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are completely passionate about the work we do in supporting and helping institutions bring the real world into the classroom for their students, helping educate students with them having rich experiential learning and lessons they will remember for life. And all of this is why the case method is more vital and relevant than ever before. We're looking forward very much to continue our work with Amity University in developing our relationship and support of each other's work. As a not-for-profit charity, we are here to support you all in your case method activities and journeys. Thank you very much again for our invite to join you all today. I wish you all a very successful event. Best wishes to all of you. And here's to the next 100 years of the case method and to our future leaders. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Ms. Vicky Lester, CEO of the Case Center. With this, we invite our next speaker, Mr. Mohammed Samir. He's the board director, consultant, and former PNG president. Over to you, sir.
Decide to clap or not only at the end, at the beginning, you don't need to clap. So I'll try to be very short. The first question you should ask yourself is, why should you listen to me? The first thing is that you're already stuck in the room. So just, try to listen to me for the next 5 minutes. And the second reason is I've been around, as it shows in my gray hair. So I grew up first in Libya, then in the US, then back in Egypt, my hometown. I lived in Belgium, Switzerland, Yemen, Saudi, Switzerland, Dubai. I lived in many, many places around the world. I could not resist coming today because it's the combination of India and Dubai that is very important for me, because India was one of my most important markets when I was working for Procter & Gamble. And Dubai is where I live now, and I decided to live for the past 7 years and hopefully for much longer. And I'm the one who moved the headquarters of P&G from Geneva to Dubai for the region of Indian subcontinent, Middle East, and Africa is all based out of Dubai. I need to be careful. I said Indian subcontinent before in the World Economic Forum, and then the Prime Minister of Bangladesh came to me and she said, please don't say that, say Southeast Asia, but here I think it's safe to say the Indian subcontinent. So first, I want to thank the university. I want to thank Dr. Ashok Chauhan, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Singh, Dr. Saif, and Marut for all the effort you've done to bring me here. You called me at least 17 times to make sure I've come here on time, and I did come here on time. I want to tell you 2 or 3 stories, and you might, at the end of the story, say, what does this have to do with what we're talking about here? But I will make the link afterwards. The first story happened to me 30 years ago. I was presenting to management. I was a very young manager in Procter & Gamble. And I was presenting to my boss's boss, who was the head of all of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So he asked me a question. I was working on a brand called Ariel at that time, which is a detergent. And he asked me, what trial do we have on the brand? What is the percent of people who tried the product? So I answered immediately. My boss, who was sitting next to me, and my boss's boss, who was also sitting next, said, this number cannot be correct. You are completely wrong. So I was sitting there, the youngest person in the room, and I was shredded into pieces. My boss's boss came out and said, actually, Mohammed is right. I remember this number. All right? And we continued the meeting, and the day was saved. After the meeting, I went and I checked, and my number was completely wrong. Completely wrong. So I went to the boss who saved me, and I told him, I'm sorry to tell you that the number was wrong. He said, I know the number was wrong. I know very well that the number was wrong. It cannot be right. But you are much more important than the number. Story one, right? I will make the link to automation later. Story two, I'm leading the region. We have 17 factories around the region that I'm leading for Procter & Gamble. We have 6 in India. The team comes and presents a plan to automate the packaging on in one of the factories. The capital needed to automate the line is $1 million. It will pay out financially, but 10 people will lose their jobs, right? You're gonna save $100,000 a year. Now you're the leader who's gonna make that decision. Who would go for it? Raise your hand if you go for it. Now you're on the stock market, so the stock market will question you whether you make the right financial decision or not, because you're gonna save $100,000 a year, right? I don't expect you to say the answer because there is no right or wrong answer here. The right or wrong answer depends on whether, as Mr. Richard rightly was saying, are you reading only with your head or also using your heart, right? Are you using your heart? Are you okay to let 10 families be on the street, even if it's only temporary, so that you can achieve the automation saving that you want to go for? The third story I want to tell you, and then I'm going to link all the stories together, happened with so I have 3 boys, my sons. One is 30, one is 28, and one is 15. And you can imagine the amount of technology that is accelerating in the family. With someone who I started my career, we didn't have even a fax. You know, the maximum we had was a telex. So no fax, nothing. So the elder ones were streaming videos off the net all the time for free. So I had a discussion with them. I said, you know, what you're doing is wrong. He said, no, everyone is doing it. I said, no, this is called stealing. Why am I sharing this story with you? Because we choose words in the new world that are a bit elastic. I had a German boss who used to say, I use very direct language because I'm not very good in English, right? So I say, you either are saying the truth or you're lying. I don't have anything in between. Now, this doesn't work with lawyers, but with many people it works. This same boss taught me something very close to the good heart piece, which he said, listen, when you manage with a cool head, warm heart, and busy hands, right? Cool head, warm heart, and busy hands. People need to see you doing something so that they participate. So what I want to tell you is this whole point about automation, computation, and knowledge management is great, but, right? Great, you can do that. Now, any speech I make, any address I make, any meeting I go to, before I go check ChatGPT, right? I check what are they saying. It's very easy. It takes 2 minutes. The key thing, like I did for this conference as well, the first thing I tell people is, if you're gonna do that, you need to tell the audience. Because if you don't tell them, you don't have the intellectual integrity to be able to stand on the stage. So number one, the importance of intellectual integrity, because I can go to knowledge management and go ask a question, give me all the information which supports my position. This is not intellectually integrity. This is looking for things that only supports what you're saying. If you go and ask, give me all the pros and cons, and then make the decision in balance, like the example I gave you about the automation, then great. On the automation, people said, but you know what? Nothing will replace leadership. I used to think the same way until someone told me a story just 2 weeks ago about a warehouse in the US where there are robots teaching the robots what to do. Right? So at the beginning, a human tells the robots what to do to pack certain things. And now with AI, they're able to take these robots to teach other robots what to do. So this means even the human that organizes the whole thing for them is not needed anymore. Right? So this brings me to the second point, which is about where is our moral compass? Right? Someone was asking, with all the AI that's going on, what stops us from doing the right thing or the wrong thing? I say it's all about humans. Because the humans who are doing the wrong things today are going to do the wrong things in AI. But hopefully they don't change the standards, because I used to think that my kids who are stealing videos off the net, right, have the right moral compass. But technology changed how they think. So will AI change more people in the future so that the moral compass changes? And I think now, once I come to a university like this, I am humbled because with the number of PhDs and studies that are made, and I just have a bachelor degree, right? But I have a PhD in life, as I like to say. And my biggest worry is not about how will we use it and so on. My biggest worry is how are we going to make sure that the good people stay good and they don't get tarnished with the technology and thinking that everything is okay now. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope I made some impact for you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. Mohammed Samir. With this, I invite our next speaker, Ms. Hessa Al-Gurer. She's the co-founder of After Rain Flowers and Coffee. Over to you, Ms. Hessa.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, students, and distinguished faculty of Amity Education Group. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm actually honored to be here today as a guest speaker. And to begin with, I would like to thank Dr. Ashok Chauhan, founder, president, Amity, Chancellor Arun Chauhan, Group Vice Chancellor, Dr. Singh, Dr. Saif Al-Sayari, and last but not least, the person that I've been actually working with it closely for the last few weeks, Mr. Marut Bisht, for everything. Thank you so much. As we gather here today, the landscape of employment and work is undergoing a significant shift, driven by rapid development and adaptation of automation. Today, I would like to share insights on how automation is reshaping industries, transforming workplaces, and the imperative for talent and employee to adopt the evolving reality. According to McKinsey research, the demand for technological, social, emotional, and higher cognitive skills is projected to rise significantly by 2030. We find ourselves in the intersection of human potential and technological advancement. McKinsey found that time spent using advanced technological skills will surge by 40 to 50% by 2030. Notably, there will be a substantial raise in the need for advancement of IT and programming skills, potentially growing by as much as 90% during this period. However, the story of adaptation goes beyond the specialization of sorry, I'm the one who moved the screen. I'm sorry, I keep touching your screen. Okay. However, the story of adaptation goes beyond the specialization, basic digital skills and emerging technologies at the second fastest growing categories increased by almost 70%. In the new age of automation, it's imperative for everyone to equip themselves with these we would call it foundational skills to navigate digital landscape successfully. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2020 painted this picture that by 2025, 85 million jobs will be displaced by robotics and automation. As rightly said just now, like robots are actually training other robots as well. Yet the same report forecasted creation of 97 million new jobs across industries, marking a significant shift of employment in the landscape. The rise of physical and digital automation called for a paradigm shift in the leadership and organizational strategy. Leaders and organizations must proactively engage in reskilling and upskilling initiatives to prepare their workforce for the near future, redesigning of businesses' processes, and reowning their emerging technologies as well. As jobs evolve, some will shrink and others will definitely expand. It is great to see that the UAE is digitally ready with a workforce ready to adopt. A recent LinkedIn survey actually highlighted the forward-thinking perspective of the employment in the UAE, where a substantial majority anticipates significant change in the workplace due to automation of AI within the next year. And next year is just, I think, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks only. In the UAE, over 50% of professionals are already using AI in their jobs. And a considerable amount are exploring tools like ChatGPT and others as well. In conclusion, the future of work in dynamic and transformative power of automation is reshaping employment landscape. It's a fact that we all must be working toward evolving around it and upscaling ourselves as well. To thrive in this evolving era, collaboration between human and technology is key. Our responsibility is to facilitate this transition, ensuring that our organization and teams are not just only adapting, but thriving in the era of automation. Thank you once again for your time. Together, we shall embrace the future of enthusiasm, resilience, and be committed to open our full potential in the workplace in the age of automation. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Hessa, for insightful deliberations on HR and automation. With this, we move on to our next speaker. I'm equally proud to invite and call upon stage Mr. Vikram Krishna, co-founder of the Sacred Groves. We would love to hear your thoughts. Over to you, sir.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me over. I've lost my voice a bit. I've been at COP28 for the past 2 weeks and I've been protesting, having conversations with governments, institutions, companies, key leaders and stakeholders in terms of what do we need to do to advance climate action. Today, some major announcements will be made in terms of the global stocktake and where we are. You will read between the lines that we are missing the key target that was set out in Paris. The 1.5 degrees target for global temperature is being missed. And all indicators are that we would be at 2.2 to 2.5 degrees over the next 10 years. Yeah. So before coming here, my daughter came yesterday from LSE and she asked, and I told her very excitedly that I'm going to be going to a university to have a talk. So what do you think I should speak about? She said, Dad, don't lecture. So that put me in a seriously difficult situation. So I just thought that the context of COP28 and what's happening in the climate, maybe I can bring that forward to you in the form of 3 stories. And maybe like Mohammed said, that those stories might connect in the end. So the first story is that we travel a lot and we use ChatGPT to plan our travel. So one of the travels that we did was to a sacred forest in a place called Meghalaya in India. And we were taken into this forest by a local who walked us in. And that look of reverence that he had about the forest inspired us to make Sacred Groves our company, which focuses on protecting forests and natural habitats all over the world. And the premise of this company is that over the years, as urban folks, we seem to have lost that connection with nature, right? So where is the nearest forest from Dubai or Chicago or London and all the wonderful places that, this conference has been to? So that's point number one, that there is a connection that is required with nature. As researchers, as thinkers, as students, think of ways to bring nature closer into our lives. And if you can do that, you would have served nature well. The second story, which is not a good story, unfortunately, we were again traveling. So don't think I travel all the time. I travel a lot for work as well. So I was in university. I was in British Columbia, actually. And British Columbia is in Canada. Canada has lost this year an area 2.5 times the size of the UAE to forest fires. And I got caught in one. So Monisha is here with me. So we were traveling to a place called Kelowna in our car. And the next thing that I know is Google has alerted us that there's a forest fire. We're wondering where the forest fire is. We can't see it really because it's a beautiful day. And we were discussing the forest fire. And in 10 minutes of our discussing what the forest fire is it going to be on the way? Do we change things around? It was on us. Thankfully, we were in a car. I drove fast. And it was a bit like a movie sequence with the fire behind us. And I was able to outrun the fire. But 50 people died that day, and a town of 150,000 people had to be evacuated. So why I bring this story to you is that when you look at this whole world of information, knowledge, automation, and technology, try to solve big problems. And big problems is big questions. When you ask those big questions and you influence the agency of your mind to solve some of those problems, the world will be in a much better place. And the last one, sorry, I didn't mean this to be a lecture, but these are 3 stories, right? The third story. The third story is a story of a solar cooker. So when it comes to climate action, which is what I call myself a climate action influencer. And what I try to do is to influence people to, in their everyday actions, take steps to live a little bit more consciously. So we recycle, we repurpose, we drive those EVs and so on. But the solar cooker is something that we bought a couple of years back, and all our cooking happens on solar. And in the city of Dubai, there's enough and more solar around, and whichever countries you represent, there's enough and more solar going, right? Why do I bring that in? Because a solar cooker cost me 200 dirhams, and within a month and a half, I got the payback, right? So the point about climate action is that many a times, and which is where information, knowledge, and automation needs to come together, many a times, climate action is thought of as a compromise. And I urge all of you to think about the fact that climate action is cool. I know it's a hotter world now, but climate action is cool. Climate action is what's going to influence people to do better. And climate action, if you integrate that into your everyday, would make the world a better place for all. So these are my 3 stories. I hope I'm able to influence you to think about the choices that you make every day. And I hope I've been able to influence you also to pick up research topics that make a real difference in people's lives, solve real problems now. Thank you very much.
That was Mr. Vikram Krishna, co-founder of the Sacred Groves. He kept it quite simple and straightforward. Thank you so much for this overwhelming remark. With this, we also invite on stage Ms. Leena Parwani. She's the Managing Director of LPH Financial Services. Over to you.
Firstly, I would say thank you so much for having me here. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Ashok Chauhan, President Founder, and counselors, all the counselors, and Mr. Gurinder Singh, Dr. Saif, and Mr. Marod, Professor Marod, because having to reach me out And usually I'm not very easily on WhatsApp responding, but thank you so much for following up a lot. And I'm so honored to be here. And like I'm hearing in the room of academic that how the learning is important. I feel this is the Amity has built a brand here in Dubai now a number of years. Making a brand is so important here. Like I also say that people buy people, right? So, and you make a brand yourself first and everything happens. Like how you're making a brand yourself as like, what are you standing out for? Trust and knowledge. You're standing out for research and innovation. And I'm grateful that I've been here before a couple of years ago when there was innovation room where students were actually talking about different ideas. And I was like amazed to be there. I said, wow, I can literally build a business around those ideas. So I'm great that I'm here again. I would like to share my personal story in this room where I see already people are fully established here, sitting here, that how learning had helped me so much that when I was in my career, I was in Dubai since 99, and I had like my job first time started in 2004. And I thought, okay, it's like, I'm entering into HR. I started learning HR. Then I did my first MBA in HR. And then I said, okay, fine, keep going. And then I was pulled up into the finance department. I come from finance background. And I said, no, I don't want to be there, but I didn't say a lot. No, I said, whatever coming to my plate, I'll take it. Because that's when you keep taking everything in your plate, you're also learning a lot. I didn't know that I'm actually building a great ground for my own company that time, learning from HR, then learning from finance. I kept on moving from there. And then one day I was asked to leave. I was like, no, I'm like such a workaholic person. I learned so much from these many years. And I was asked to leave from office and don't touch anything, leave from here. We will send you everything home, because my position was somewhere with the very top senior guys, chairman. So that place, you can only get out from the company. You just can't even go in another department and work there. But I was so depressed and sad that despite of being so workaholic and learning so much every stage, what went wrong? There was nothing wrong. It was just destiny taking me to next level, pushing me to next level there. And I then founded my own company in 2014. And again, that's where I said, learning, we never stop. And I'd say learning is the attitude of somebody. More hungry we are, or students are, or any employee is, they are going up to the ladder. They're finding their space, and they are noticed. Because I tell my employees also, the moment I see that somebody saying, oh, that's not my job, I'm not going to do that, I said, you're already putting a mental block to your career, that you just feel that's not for you, then you are stopping at some learnings which is coming your table. I'm proud that I never said no that time and kept on taking a lot of stuff on my table. And so then when I could build up my own business, and I knew from the zero that what required in which department, from where somebody take what all to get into somewhere. And then again, then there are lessons in the life you learn to accept that, okay, what you are, accepting several things in the life that now I'm leading this thing. Now I have people there. I need to accept that part. I need to look after those part. I need to accept that I need to delegate it a lot. And when I was like a single person company, I just thought everything is for me. Everything I know is the best. But then I needed several hands to grow. And I had like 1, 2, 3. And then that's how I built up my company, which is 25 employees work for me. But in the entire process, I remain the student, and till date I'm a student, and I don't know, till that I will be student. I'll be keep on learning and learning. It's the attitude of learning which takes everybody ahead. And I learned in my business of insurance that when I came in insurance, that people say, oh, there are so many people doing insurance. What's wrong with you? What are you doing insurance broking? And this is very a male dominated world. I said, I'll find my niche, what I need to do that. So, and very soon I found the gap where I actually worked on sustainability of the wealth. When you talk about sustainability of wealth, what do I mean by that? I worked with wealthy families in Dubai, and that's where I see 3 generation syndromes. people come in Dubai, they make a wealth, they are just working hard and building a company. And then the next generation start coming into their same business. Some of them actually would be surprised to know that second generation doesn't even want to come in parents' business. They have their own ideas. They don't just want that business. And also a fear that they may not be able to fill the shoes of their parents, so they don't want to be in the same business. Well, somehow some people sustain in second generation, but here come third generation where the kids are gifted with so many opportunities. Everything is in their hand. And I'm not surprised. And you might see them as well, like grandkids of some wealthy people here even go to school in Rolls Royce and Bentley. This is not their fault. They've been gifted. They earned it. Their parents earned for them, right? But that's where the asset depletion happen. Assets start depleting because they haven't they haven't learned the hardship to earn it or keep it or grow it. That's where I found that this is the area I want to work where I want to help these families to how they can keep their generation over generation rich and rich. You want your next generation to start one step ahead, not the one step behind. Yes, I do have some rich families talk about saying that I'm so rich, why do I need to look after insurance? Well, that's a different topic and I have different arguments for that. But sustainability of wealth is so important. Dubai is a place where growth, which people, opportunities, people get it so easily. I have got it. I build up everything here and people do get it. But how do they sustain their wealth in this country is also a very, very important topic, which we have been, we are talking about several things of sustainability. But the wealth, this is a country which is very wealthy and inviting wealthy people from around the world. And most of them don't know that how to transfer their assets to the next generation. I'm grateful to share my experience here today. And once again, thank you so much for having me here and allowing me to share my story with you all. Thank you.
That's a almanac for a happy life and a lot of savings. With this, I would also invite our last speaker for today, but never the least, Professor Evangelos Mustakas, the Executive Director, Lifelong Learning and Continuing Education at Heriot-Watt. One thing unique about Professor Mustakas is he is a professor who plays the guitar. So we look forward to listening your melodies in the future, but nevertheless, you should set the tone at last.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to address a few esteemed people like Dr. Ashok Chauhan and Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Gurinder for the invitation, and of course, Marut. I didn't think about this invitation for a very long time. And that's because I think it's very important, not only because of the character of the conference, but also because we need to connect as individuals. If I recall back from the Greek philosopher Aristotle, he used to say that we are social animals. And he continued his theory. He said actually that if we don't socialize, that means we're either gods or beasts. So I came here with big pleasure today. It's a true honor. And I would like to say that it's a big honor also because it comes from a global leader like you, like Amity University, in so many different countries and with thousands of people and students being part of your family. I recently traveled to Chandigarh because we established a collaboration with Chandigarh University. And even in the area there, you have established now presence. And you have new students coming there in the School of Engineering very soon. So that's really impressive. Congratulations to you. Now, I'm here today to share a couple of insights in relation to a topic that comes to the concept of collaborating and communicating. And this is what we call the listening part. You see, sometimes in life, we do communicate with people, but with the intention to reply. And so this is a very big mistake because sometimes we just need to listen because we need to understand and to listen through this carefully. And the same mistake happens also in the business world. which means that several brands, they put a brand out there in the market without really first doing the social listening part to listen to understand what the customers are looking for. What do they like? What they don't like? What are the pain points? What are these areas that they will think the customers will be interested? Now, again, it's important to recognize that social listening is not only for brands, and there are numerous automation systems now that they can do social listening for us about the negatives, the positives, etc. But also the governments, they are optimizing the use of them. I remember about 10 years ago where I used to live in Saudi, I was given a project from King Salman Research Center to conduct research about what are the pain points and the challenges that neighborhoods in Riyadh face when it comes to small kids, when they go outside to play, where they can commute, how they can entertain themselves. And based on social listening tools, as early as 10 years ago, we identify some areas, how to improve these neighborhoods and make them a better place for the kids. And across the years, you see that Riyadh absolutely transformed. And so Middle East, and so Dubai. And so similar in Dubai, we are very privileged to live in this part of the world and in Dubai. And we've seen also here that the government is spending a lot of time and efforts, and of course, budgets. Whenever we are interacting with governmental services, there is afterwards an evaluation process, or there is afterwards this mechanism to improve, no matter if it's RTA or DIWA or any kind of service. Now, what I would like to come to my last part of this first presentation would be that, again, we are experiencing change. And we've seen also that today was, as other presenters mentioned, the last day of the COP28, which some of the messages were not very positive. We have to be realistic about this. But also there were some really good steps forward. And it's also remarkable that happened to this side of the world. We needed this. And it's great that this was hosted by UAE. But also, at the same time, within what was agreed, it was clearly mentioned at the COP28 that the role of technology is fundamental for sustainability. Now, that takes me, though, to the last part of today's presentation that I have. And this is that I consider myself as an educator, and I consider this as part of a social responsibility. And I'm sure that most of you here in this room, that you're involved with Amity, you understand that it's so important to get involved with the younger generation, especially because we reside in a part of the world that MENA world has over 50% population that is below the age of 30 years of age. And that means that it's not just the educational part to teach them some skills, but it's also to educate them to become exactly what Dr. Richard mentioned before, to become better leaders, but also to give them the right set of skills to use effectively and productively AI and augmented reality and other parts of technology. I think it's a very positive message. Again, one more time, I would like to thank you all for inviting me and having me here, and I wish you best of luck to Amity and to your future endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you.
While we thank every speaker, very learned panelist, starting from Mr. Mohammed Sameer, Mr. Richard Reiki, Ms. Hisa, Ms. Leena Pravani, Professor Ivan Loss, and our own Mr. Vikram Krishna, who has joined with his wife. Thank you so very much. But let me introduce you before we end this session with the visionary, the one who has not only created many institutions, many universities worldwide, the one who's not only the founder of MIT Group, but has given a new definition to the education. And people say that he is a living legend who has not only contributed in the growth of students, but the one who came back to his home country after becoming billionaire and contributed in creating world-class institutions, Dr. Ashok Chauhan. Give a huge applause to him. The story of life born in a very modest family, wanted to dream very high, wanted to do something for the society, went empty-handed to Europe, worked day and night for 3 decades, and then after becoming billionaire, wanted that he should contribute into the life of millions of students. So he came back to his home country, but wanted to create institutions worldwide. So he created schools, he created universities, not only in Asia, in Europe, in America, in Singapore, in Dubai, and in other parts of the world. But I remember that his most passionate statement was that whatever he is doing for the society. When Dr. Kalam, the President of India, wanted to implement a very prestigious project called Pan-African E-Network Project. And I remember that Dr. Kalam, when he became the President of India, the first delegation he took to Africa was not of industrialists, but he took the 19 vice chancellors from across the world and from India to Africa to understand that how he can contribute into the growth of Africa. And we remember, because I was a part of that delegation, that when President of India comes on the stage and speaks that I want to contribute and give to the nation and the countries of Africa something which they are going to remember forward, people clap for 3 minutes. And his next sentence was, but not the dollar to give. So people thought that what he's going to give. And he said that I'm going to give knowledge. I'm going to give learning. And the President of India at that time invited the President of European Union. And the chair said at the end of the day that the noble views of Dr. Kalam are revolutionary, but we require someone in the field of education to implement it. I think Africa is not ready. Europe is not ready. And they said, we are not going to implement it because Africa doesn't know the knowledge which you want to give. They don't know computers. There is no internet in Africa at that time. At that time, Dr. Chauhan came forward and said that if no one in the world is able to understand the vision, then it's going to be MIT which is going to implement this project. And we became the largest partner of Government of India with Ministry of External Affairs and with TCIL and TCS and implemented this project. The target was 2,000 students, 80,000 African students took advantage. Give a huge applause to this man who has always done extraordinary things. When the government was talking about that nothing can happen, the students can't freely go from one country to the other. He came with a revolution and he said that define something new. And he started up with the programs called 3 continent programs. When people were saying that private universities have no future in Asia and in India, he created world-class universities, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 12 universities and became the largest education group of India. When people were talking about that it will take ages for India to develop, he announced that by 2030, India is going to be amongst the top economies of the world. And the prediction came true. Today, India is amongst the top 4 economies of the world. A living legend has announced very recently in the convocation, 2047, India superpower, and he is going to celebrate and dance. May God bless him with extraordinary health. And let's pray for him that whatever he is saying, he should be able to make a difference in the life. Let's listen from a person, a champion of champion, the one who has devoted his entire life and has given word, whatever he has been able to. Over to you, our founder, Dr. Ashok Kecho.
I'm very happy to be part of this 4th edition of IEEE conference. The subject matters are so important. The participants, which I'm seeing now, or I was hearing yesterday also, and today in between, I would say this conference is a game changer. All those who are sitting over here are witness of with which speed the world is moving. How we are revolutionizing in this century the whole technology, scientific, innovative areas. I would compliment Dr. Gurinder Singh that he thought of such conference on automation, computation, and knowledge management, which is a very apt topic in today's scenario. What I see also that my very brilliant students, alumni, have taken part with full interest, because this is the generation who would be contributing to change the world, to make a new world. And never in previous centuries, it was so dynamic, so vibrant, so energetic as it is now. And all those who are contributing with their presence, with the speakers, I heard many speakers during my other meetings and during other conferences on the silent mode. It is something astonishing, the ideas. Just our previous speaker also gave so many worthy tips, ideas, and suggestions. One should implement it. I will show these programs to all my students in the country, to 12 universities and schools, so that they learn how much we can do from the best of the East and best of the West. We have to learn a lot from Western countries. The Western countries can also learn a lot from India. But if we have a synergy of the both nations from West and East, from Middle East, I have been more than 15, 16 times in Dubai, met most of the important people there, and I'm astonished with their brilliance, with their thinking power, and with their mission to contribute to make a better India. Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister was there. He was also very glad to see the Indian contribution. Also, I was glad to see that MIT University, which is regarded as #1 in the private university sector in Dubai. So these are the areas which are promoted by MIT. And Dr. Gurinder Singh was recently in Singapore and also in Australia, and was holding such conferences there also, and a large number of alumni. I am surprised that which high positions my alumni are holding. Why so? Because one has to learn, in addition to the technology, scientific, and other areas, one has to have command on understanding for the psyche, for the methods and manners of others all over the world. I call it behavioral science. And therefore, my dear students, alumni, you are studying there for more than 40, 45 countries. And whenever I meet you, whenever I read about you, whenever I see you on net, I'm so pleased that whenever you go back to your country, you will really make a change for your country. What one can do more in life? One cannot do more than bring the changes in the life of the person. And those all who are sitting over here, Dr. Wajid Hussain has some other appointment. He is at the moment not there. I also compliment and appreciate our most worthy Dr. Saif, who is our academician. And also, I appreciate our Dr. Fazal Malik, who is contributing in a great way for the development of the Dubai Center. And recently, our Executive Director, Strategy Management, Mr. Mol Chauhan, was there. He was very much appreciating you all, with which dedication, hard work, sincerity, dedication to the extent of devotion, he told me, all are working. And I'm sure that one day our Dubai campus will be an example for the whole world. And therefore, Dr. Gurinder Singh, I compliment you, Marut, who is your great right hand, that you have selected this place with IEEE, with Springer, and also with Case Center. Very few people can manage going in a foreign country to have so many worthy speakers. I was astonished from all over the world. The speakers have come and they have given their frank, open, scientific, technological, innovative views. My dear student, you can learn a lot, because the life has only then great value as Dr. Salma Murthy told, you should have a mission in addition to your country that you contribute hand in hand together with other countries to change the world. My worthy chancellor who spoke a little while back, his logo is, his mission is that together we can change the world. And I see what is happening today, what Dr. Gurinder Singh did in Australia, what he did in Singapore. I think when the two people from different countries shake hands and their synergy of brains, synergy of thoughts, synergy of innovation come together, nobody can stop you from changing the world. And what a great satisfaction for everybody if one is contributing in addition to the own interest to the interest of people. Dr. Gurinder, how you have invited such people, I'm really amazed and astonished. From all over the world, the speakers spoke, I heard in between, many speakers. It was so interesting, so knowledgeable, such a big learning. So I think this conference has such importance, and I will, as I told you, show to my all students here in the 12 universities and also to the schools, because these children, those who are nowadays in the 11th, 12th class, when we reach to the 2047, they will be in the age of most innovative age, most age which can really do a lot of innovation. In India nowadays, we are having a AI conference. Our Prime Minister spoke just now that this AI has good things and also one should be careful about few things. So now our intelligence is how to make best use of AI. So I compliment all, and I would appreciate that we continue these meetings. Dr. Nathan, please invite the worthy speakers to India and to our other countries. Please invite them to my global research hub in New York. We have a 175-acre global research hub that is mainly thought as a meeting point for all innovative brains, all scientists, all innovators and technologists, because many people can come there easier. So we will all welcome there. You can come with your families and stay there. It is just at the end of the ocean, a heavenly place, so that, when you are sitting in such place, then the mind works more innovative. So I would say that my blessings to all, especially to my students, my alumni, my faculty members, my leaders there, and also Mr. Amol Chauhan was there and with his wife Ridhima, and they were so much appreciating. That said, Papa, you should also go soon to see what MIT has developed with the great leaders there. And Gurinder, you have left no possibility to make it your contribution from all from the MIT India. And I think this will really be a for this century, for this decade, a event which has contributed for the nation building of every nation. My blessings, my good wishes to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our guiding light, father figure, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir, founder president of the Amity Universe, I must say, not just university. Thank you very much, sir, for your blessings. I think they are most important. And with this, I would also take the privilege of inviting and calling upon the dais Professor Fazal Malik, who's the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Amity University in Dubai, to give you a brief introduction of the plenary sessions, the authors and the teams for the IEEE Springer for tomorrow. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Marut. With the blessings of our founder president, you just heard him, and the inspiration of our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, our Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurinder Singh, our CEO, Dr. Wajahat Hussain, and our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Saif Al-Sayari. We have been able to collect the sharpest minds in computation and knowledge management today here at Amity University in Dubai. We're very fortunate to be in this part of the world because there is a tremendous focus on knowledge economy, which is fueled by innovation and research. Being in Dubai itself is an advantage for us. And with the infrastructure we have created here and the variety of programs which we offer to students here, we are making a very significant contribution towards that knowledge economy. The title and theme of this conference could not be more appropriate. Computation, automation, and knowledge management. While we are at a very critical stage of our lives at the moment, on one hand, there are all inspiring opportunities, but there are colossal challenges as well. We have the fastest, we have the best, we have the quickest, but the question is, do we have the cleanest? How happy are we? And at a time when the time between what happens in the lab till the product reaches the retail shop, from the concept creation to commercialization of the product, the time is getting smaller, smaller, and smaller. But at the same time, we see we are living in a throwaway culture where sustainability, protecting environment is becoming more and more important. Unfortunately, post-COVID-19, we have seen a phenomenal increase in mental health issues. While the innovation is critically important, so is the research and so is to find solutions to the problems. But I would just mention three things which are very, very critical, and some of the learned keynote speakers have mentioned that much better than I could, which is empathy, integrity, and sustainability. And in all these sessions and paper presentations tomorrow, you will see all the sensitive young researchers and presenters are going to put focus on these three themes. Because I was at the COP28 earlier today, I was representing Amity Education there, and we had a discussion on how we can create pathways towards eco-education, because it's very important to sensitize young minds towards sustainability and how we protect this environment for the coming generations. There will be sessions tomorrow at our university. Some of them are here at face-to-face, and some of them will be online, and we are running this in hybrid mode. And I, with the permission of the chair, would like to invite and congratulate those all who will be presenting tomorrow. With these words, I take your permission. Thank you so much. And Founder President, sir, once again, thank you so much for being with us and for your blessings.
Dr. Fazal Malik, very well spoken. I have heard a lot about your worthiness, about your clear thoughts, which you have depicted right now to me. And I'm so glad to have you there to lead the university and take care of the students. I'm sure that under such leaders and your colleagues, we will really make them world leaders. My compliment, my congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fazal, for your enlightening remarks. With this, we come to the felicitations of our guests and keynote speakers. I think it's even more momentous because we have been joined virtually by our founder president. I would request Group Vice Chancellor, sir, and Vice Chancellor, sir, and Pro Vice Chancellor, sir, to step forward for giving away of the citations and the awards. I would also request student volunteer to please step forward. We had some speakers who are here in person, but others had sent their messages and blessings online. So we are felicitating each one of them. Amity is proud to confer upon Dr. Ashwin Fernandez. Please keep applauding for Miss Vicky Lester. She has been conferred upon. Next up, we would also invite panel to confer upon we have been joined by Mr. Mohammed Samir, who is requesting the honor of Amity Please keep applauding for Mr. Mohammed Samir. Call upon Ms. Hessa Guerrer to please step forward. Amity is proud to confer upon Ms. Hessa Al Guerrer, Amity Trailblazer Visionary in the Human Capital and Entrepreneurship Award. I would also request Ms. Leena Parwani to please step forward. Amity is proud to confer upon her the Amity Outstanding Achievers Award in Financial Leadership and Entrepreneurship. The applause is coming from Ms. Leena Parmani. What a wonderful almanac for the life she gave. Next up, I would request Professor Evangelos Mustakas to please step forward. Amity is proud to confer upon him the Amity Exemplary Leadership and Lifelong Learning. Coming. We have a lot more to go. Keep the applauses coming for Mr. Vikram Krishna, the founder and CEO of Sacred Group, an iconic and Imran. Give him a thundering round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. With this, we come to the end of the felicitations. I would request Group Vice Chancellor, sir, to say a few closing words. Thank you very much, sir. We will meet again tomorrow for the felicitations of our case study award winners. We will also be meeting for the certificate distribution for the case study and the study abroad concluding. And nevertheless, we will also be inviting all our alumni who are spread across the lengths and breadths of the UAE to come and reshare and reconnect and create innovative domains for all of us. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. A special thanks to the IT team from both India and Dubai, and to everyone who's present here. Thank you very much. May I now request IT to please close the session amidst.
Before we close, I think that the audience will hardly get a chance to see a legend founder president. So can I request all of you, if you can stand and can give standing ovation to this leader of leader who has been able to do great things for the society. Give a huge applause.
Keep the applause coming, please.
We have taken this initiative to help researchers across the world. So as I was telling you in the morning, that we started up from India, from Noida. Then we took this conference to London. And from London, it traveled to New York. From New York, it came back to Paris. From Paris, it went to Tashkent.
I think, Commander, please sit down. Please take your seat comfortably. Please sit down. Take your
Yeah.
seat comfortably. Thank
And
you.
then- And then it went to Australia and finally from Singapore to Dubai. So give yourself a huge applause for contributing. And all those sponsors, IEEE, Springer, the Case Center UK, and publishers who have been helping us, and especially the amazing team from India, and also amazing team of Dubai campus, who has made it possible to organize and to call so many speakers from across the world. 2023 was a good year, but I know that 2024 is going to be the much better year for all of you and for MIT. And together we are going to contribute to make this word a wonderful word. Thank you.
IT, you may please close.